Friends, the Union Home and Cooperation Minister recently reiterated the need to teach professional courses like medicine, engineering, and law in local languages and called it a moment of renaissance and reconstruction. Very profound words indeed, all in the context of education. Now, is this a good idea? This, friends, is my question and topic for discussion this Saturday. Let's see what comes out of it. Years back, Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, said, "The only constant in life is change." That said, change in society can be brought about in two ways. One is to plan to the last detail and then implement. The second is to drive change by change. While the first takes long to realize and may even falter and fail, the second reaps dividends in the shortest of time. Now, the government's intent to drive change by change is obvious. That it termed it Renaissance and Reconstruction shows seriousness of intent. Could this be democratization of education? Let's see. We'll find some answers. Ancient studies were essentially conducted in Sanskrit. Vedas, Vedangas, Samhitas, Puranas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads are all rooted in Sanskrit literature and language. As English now, Sanskrit then, was seen as a language of the elite. There must have been several other languages then as well, as they are now. Education in Sanskrit or others must have been debated even then. That realization must have prompted education in other languages as well. We would not have had an exalted development of religion and culture if it were not so. Unfortunately, 300 years of Mughal rule killed Sanskrit and its variants. 200 years of British rule later promoted English. The dominance of English language snowed the Indian belief system much under its own pedagogy and weight. This was buttressed by the infallible argument of the British that leaves all other languages indefensible. English puts every other language at an equal disadvantage. We then continue thinking in native and perhaps we are paraphrasing in English. India is predominantly rural with more than 6 lakh villages, each needing an urban setting of public services and facilities currently provided by the government. We are short of doctors, nurses, hospital beds, as the pandemic showed a couple of years back. A research of George Mason's University, Mercatus Center, reminds us that compared to the world average of 150 doctors per a lakh of people, we only have 86 doctors registered for practice. So we need many more doctors. Those who practice in the villages is even lower. A primary health center, or PHC as we call, sanctioned for a rural area, needs at least one doctor to be functional. For the 33 of the 36 regions, more than 8,500 posts are vacant. The dichotomy is that a $5+ trillion economy that we are aspiring to be cannot be realized by urban participation alone, while we expect the rural population to ape the urban ways. Migration can be halted only when education comes in languages that the people speak, that the people understand, and in their familiar settings. That is true whether for engineering, medicine, law, or any other. However, there are operational difficulties. For one, availability of books is poor. Technical and medical literature is predominantly English. And besides, current teachers are educated in English. What can be done? Books can be translated. Often the argument is, are there equivalent words? Since language is only a medium, a hybrid mixing of Hindi or any other with English within conversations and sentences may help. And another argument is that it will promote ghettoization. But then, will new jobs not accrue? Over a period of time, they will. Technology can be a great leveler as well. Predefined text and audio, video content can be generated using artificial intelligence. Now, machine learning based authoring tools are also helpful. Virtual reality can aid design, 3D modeling, editing, transformation, and testing in virtual environments. It's a universal tool to display objects, processes, locations, and historical events as well. Absolutely with no language barriers. A big part of investment in VR, virtual reality education, is directed towards training medical students and personnel, while simulations prepare doctors and nurses practice different clinical cases and improve their skills. Virtual reality helps study complex technical material through practical tasks. 5G will enable all of this. EdTech companies will eventually come up with textbooks encoded with AR possibilities. Friends, current professional education in the country is truly elitist. Now, with the cost reaching the skies, children from poor families cannot dream of becoming engineers, doctors, or lawyers. Those who opt, or those who do, opt for practicals or practice abroad, or pursue higher education abroad, leaving the country's rural health centers tottering, failing, and rural infrastructure gasping. Engineering students too, passing out of these elite engineering colleges, leave for greener pastures. Friends, don't you think we need to change the rules of the game so that children with fire in the belly, even if they are poor, study engineering, medicine, and law, or any other? Don't you think, education in local languages is the first step to fire that passion? Now, with those two questions, I leave you for this Saturday and expect you to, think over, mull over what I have said about conducting education in local languages and so on and so forth. So let me leave for this Saturday with a promise to be back the next. And until then, Dhanyavad, Namaskar, and thank you.